dust off and move. Don't yawn and prolong what you got to do. And if you've been going through any negative phase, well, here's your opportunity for turning the page. Today's a new chapter. Write your plot and make it end with the win. Give it all you got. But first you gotta rise, look alert and alive. Get the dirt from your eyes and work for the prize. It's on, cause we ain't even trying to lose. Let's go, man, don't hit snooze. It's time to wake up. 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 Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick, let's go. Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick. You can't wait around for someone's approval. Now is the moment to begin your renewal, man. Feel alive with the vibe, energized of the folks who you're coming by the white in your eyes. Hey, another day might waste away. Come on, let's get it going, don't make delays. So ring the alarm and lift your arm high. Like Georgia Weezy, get a piece of the pie. Begin it with the step, you'll get in it in a sec. You'll be winning like you never did it when you overslept. So right this minute, get right with it. What time is it? It's time to wake up.
Good morning, Birmingham. This is the regular meeting of the Birmingham City Council. Today is Tuesday, February 11th. This morning, our invocation will be delivered by Don Thompson, Assistant Pastor of More Than Conquerors Faith Church, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Counselor Crystal Smitherman. If you're willing and able, please stand.
Morning, Mayor's Office, City Council, Chambers. How you feeling? I bet you feel better than the Kansas City Chiefs this morning, don't you? Just a little humor, yeah. A little laughter is good for the soul. Join me in prayer. Father, we thank you for this day that you've made. We continue to rejoice. We're glad in it. Father, we ask you, we know that you sit in heaven, but you still rule and reign in the earth. And so we pray for this part of the earth that's called Birmingham, a beloved city, Father. We pray for those that you have placed in the mayor's office, this executive branch of our government, the city council, legislators, and our judiciary branch, those that will help keep peace and order. We ask for wisdom that comes from you. Give it to them so they can lead this city in the direction and to fulfill the plans and the purpose that you have for it. We ask for that, Father, in the wonderful, majestic name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, could we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Councilmember Clark. Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Smitherman.
Morning.
Morning. Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. Morning. Morning. Councilmember Woods. Morning. Morning. Council President Pro Tem Alexander.
Good morning.
Morning. Council President O'Quinn.
Good morning. Council, the minutes are not ready for the November 5th, 2024 through February 4th, 2025 meetings. At this time, we'll have communications from Mayor Woodfin.
Gotcha.
Mr. President, good morning. Good morning to the entire council. Good to see everyone this morning. Good morning to the public as well. Just a note, Mr. President and Council, wanted to give a Crime Commission update. As you all are aware, the Independent Crime Commission released a report about a month ago. The commission referred to this as a roadmap, if you would, to address homicides, as well as make recommendations to decrease gun violence in the city based on not only a review here in Birmingham, but also research in other cities around our country. The commission made 82 recommendations. We publicly committed to providing monthly status reports and updates and are pleased to have the first one for you today. So just a note, we'll make sure this is provided to you via email. We'll also share this in the city's website and other various communication platforms to keep the public informed as we make our way through these recommendations and through implementation of them. And so as of today, of those 82 recommendations, 42 are either in the planning and development phase or in the pre-launch or in progress stage. That's about a 53%. 53% of those recommendations are actively being worked on. Now, let's be clear, much work has to be done and much work remains, but this is progress over the last 30 days. I want to start with police staffing. As you all are aware, based on the decisions and the vote you all made, the commission underscored our strategy for more officers. We'll continue to update you all on the work underway based on the $16 million recruitment and retention program you voted on. But as of note, we review, not we, but the police department is currently reviewing 90 candidates after the first phase of the screening process for the March Academy class. Those who clear that phase will be able to join that class next month. BPD also pre-launched the Reserve Officer Program that you are aware of, and a detailed update of that will be given in March. The commission also prioritized the implementation of focused deterrence, and the Birmingham Police Department has initiated early stages in this recommendation with additional planning and development underway. They also addressed the community violence intervention recommendations, which include several action areas which are in the pre-launch stage, and those will also be active in March. Now, this includes expanding the hospital-linked violence intervention, which has been provided to you in detail before, from acute care to the emergency department. And we've seen success in the acute care and those admitted. But this also includes street outreach teams tasked with targeting at-risk individuals to provide opportunities to disrupt the cycle of violence. Also want to acknowledge your support as a council in these initiatives led by the chairwoman of your Public Safety Committee, but championed by all of you. And we look forward to providing further updates as well next month on the violence intervention piece of the work you all are doing. BPD has also initiated an early stage of shooting reviews as part of the weekly violent crime meeting, and more work will continue to further build this out. Just a couple other notes. Multiple departments, including the Birmingham Police Department, the Office of Community Safety Initiatives, PEP, and Public Works, are engaged in a focus on hotspots. As you know, this is not just about policing, but blight removal, code enforcement, and other things as well. In January alone, the city contractors demolished 14 structures. Public Works demolished and removed an additional 4 structures for a total of 18 structures removed in January. When you factor in holidays, weather days, and inclement weather, overall delayed work at times. And so our expectation is for more blight removal to increase in the month of February. We're also encouraged, not just by yesterday's showing, but the conversations that continue to be had in Montgomery, as we're seeing support for public safety legislation, especially around the state ban on conversion devices, commonly known as Glock switches. In addition to that, the commission provided several recommendations related to BPD's collaboration with probation and parole officers, as well as the DA's office. And those meetings have either happened or will happen within the next 30 days or less. I think overall it's safe to say that the cadence we have established to take steps and implement these recommendations are moving at break speed. And we remain committed to not only the partnership with the City Council and the Police Department, but with Jefferson County Sheriff Mark Petway, District Attorney Carr, and our federal partners in Birmingham. This work would not be possible without the 9 of you, so I want to publicly thank you for leaning in and making sure that we not only chop wood, but hold ourselves accountable based on the recommendations presented to us related to these efforts. Mr. President and Council, I have one other note. A couple years back, we started the Don't Be a Dummy campaign, DUMMY. Like you, I've received texts or pictures or videos of sites where people have made illegal dumping. I can tell you, and I can vouch for this and verify, that the Public Works Department is out there every single day, separate from their actual routes of bulk trash, separate from their actual routes of refuge and household trash. There are litter teams and litter squads out there that go get it. There are teams out there that are extremely surgical as they can be at finding dump sites and clearing them, not just based on 311 calls, not just based on calls from your offices, not just based on calls from citizens, but if they see it, pick it up. We don't always see it, and so it's important for people to share with us, let us know when it's down so we can investigate and or pick it up. But the main point I wanted to make with the 9 of you all is the root of the Don't Be a Dummy campaign was empowering residents to assist us in catching the people who were committing the actual acts of illegal dumping. So I want to encourage citizens again of Birmingham. The rules of engagement is not to engage at all. It is simply to do everything else you do when you see things. Pull out your cell phone or your tablet or whatever smart device you have and help us catch people in the act. Because what we need to do is send a clear message to contractors who don't have permits, to people who don't live in our city and come in to either Dolomite or Wylam or by the airport or on the eastern side of town into District 1 or any other entry points into our 99 neighborhoods from other cities. And honestly, to residents who live in our city who just don't care. We need to send a clear message that is up to 180 days in the city jail, and we will sit you down in that jail for being comfortable with making our city dirty and not clean. Illegal dumping is illegal, period. And what we're seeing is we continue to be aggressive with PEP of identifying contractors who are not doing their job. But they're dumping all times of day and all times of night when some of us are not watching. And when people aren't riding that night to necessarily catch them. So again, we want our citizens to feel empowered. Don't engage. Don't try to be a superhero. You're not the police or cops. You're not environmental police. We just simply need you. If you catch them in the act, get a tag, get a license plate. You see it happening, record it, take pictures, send it to us so we can hold people accountable. Mr. President and Council, that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to ask you one question as it relates to the Crime Commission's recommendations. So one of the things that is really outside of the city of Birmingham's purview when it comes to addressing crime, especially violent crime, is the adjudication of cases. And you and I and the council has discussed with you that there's a backlog of cases, and waiting for a trial is currently
Murder trial is over 3 years now.
Right. So and that creates all sorts of challenges as we've discussed. So in terms of, and this is not something that the city of Birmingham, can really control itself. Our municipal court doesn't deal with these types of cases. So in terms of advocating for the faster adjudication of these cases, speak to me a little bit about
absolutely.
what communication is happening around that.
Yeah, so I'm encouraged first by the commitment we have from folks across the park. Judge French leads the 10th Judicial Circuit. Now, that encompasses all courts, domestic, civil, family, as well as criminal. But for our criminal court, one of her partners that she works with a lot is Judge Streety, who leads the criminal court for the 10th Judicial Circuit. And I'm encouraged by their conversations that they're having down in Montgomery for anybody that will listen about whether it's a rocket docket, whether it's additional judges, or whether it's a specialty judge that we know when cases have gotten a backlog in civil court, judges have come from far as Montgomery assigned here to expedite that docket. I want to be very clear, without help from the state as it relates to either a rocket docket or a specially assigned judge that deals with more trials for homicides, and or additional judges in the 10th Judicial that focus on criminal courts, we won't see that backlog decrease anytime soon. And so I'm encouraged by Judge French. I'm encouraged by Judge Streety. I'm also encouraged by Senator Smitherman, who literally fights and advocates not only that we not lose any more judges, because that was a fight for extensive time post-COVID, not taking away our judges. As we've seen the result of that, we now need a minimum of 2 more judges in criminal court, but at least give us 1 more, or give us one dedicated only to violent crime trials such as homicides, attempted murders. And so, again, we have people advocating on our behalf who are judges, who lead the 10th Judicial, and hopefully the state responds to them, or somebody responds to them. And you hear the same thing from Danny Carr as well, about speedy trials and making sure they can get through their dockets so they don't lose their witnesses. And so we can continue to champion, but they're champions who are doing the work in the form of DA and the judges who are leading the charge.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, I don't know when we got to the place where people in our city and in this generation felt that it was okay to just throw trash and just dump, wherever they saw fit. But unfortunately, we are there. And, riding through my district, it's probably about 4 neighborhoods that don't deal with illegal dumping, but the rest of them do. You made mention of the airport. You got places like Inglewood, Collegeville, Roebuck, Northeast Lake. And in a lot of these areas, it's happening, like you said, at the times of night when people are usually asleep, or it's happening in areas where there aren't any visibility or any type of eyes or anything like that. You only see it when you start riding around your neighborhood as you commute to work, or you go to drop your kids off to school and you ride by this eyesore that, makes your neighborhood look bad and really changes, other people's perception of your neighborhood. And so one of the things that I wanted to ask, because, we saw how effective it was in Eastlake, for the barriers to be put up, to block off certain streets so that it eliminated that entry and exit, or the frequency of those entries into neighborhoods. I wanted to ask if, that's something that could be done in those unique areas where you have vacant streets, where nobody is there, where there's just constant dumping. And I'll give you an example. Over in the Northeast Lake area, there are several streets that have, been bought out by the airport authority, and there's just consistent dumping. As soon as it's picked up, it gets dropped right back off. But there's no houses, there's no businesses, there's nothing there that would give anybody reason to have to go back there. And it happens over in the Roebuck area as well. And so I would love to be able to sit down with, BDOT to identify those streets,
Yes,
so that we can block those off so that there's no longer an issue with that being a problem.
So make sure, Cedric, We give him an update on the work we've been doing. So we've identified District 4, 7, and 9 where there are continued patterns of if we get it within 72 hours, it's back down. We pick it back up, it's back down. And we don't think it's the same people. We just think it's just several people doing it at these same sites. And what we find is that these streets are not used for anything else. So I know we started in Southwest District 7 over the last 2 years, blocking off a few streets. And we've partnered with the airport, PEP, BDOT have already started those conversations, identified those streets. I gave the green light last week to start the process to close them. We need to make sure we give a share of the streets we've identified. It hasn't happened yet, but we've been in the phasing process of getting to the point where we can shut them down, literally to not decrease, but stop anybody's ability to, it's like they bringing the truck back there almost and just unloading.
Listen, I've seen people literally pull up with U-Haul trucks full of trash and just dump it. And it's ridiculous. And so even if that means we gotta, vacate streets, whatever we gotta do to partner with, anybody to just close those off, I think that'll help. It's not gonna fix it, but it'll help to eliminate some of that.
So we're doing, there are 4 things we're doing. One is definitely what streets can we vacate. Another is making sure PEP and housing are in the best positions to literally identify people if they do not have a permit. Also, we're encouraging neighbors to phone in, text in, call us in, app in if you see someone who doesn't have an actual permit. Because what we find is people who don't have permits, also they should be required to have a dumpster. They don't have a dumpster. So we're following on this line of contractors in one hand not doing their responsibility. And then people, particularly in some of those sides of areas, we identified 9, 7, and 4 driving in who don't live in Birmingham doing that as well. So between PEP, between closing streets, what I've just shared, the don't be a dummy, like we need, again, don't engage, just video if you can. If you see it in action, send it to us so we can take immediate action. The biggest thing we can do, y'all, is this is very simple. We need to catch somebody and send them in the city jail to make an example. Let them know we have 0 tolerance for it, but we got to catch them.
And put them up on the billboard.
I like the shame game as well.
All right. Councilor Abbott.
Mr. Mayor, I know you're not going to know this answer off the top of your head, but can somebody report to us when the newly paved streets will have center lines, traffic bars, parking spaces, all that stuff marked on them, because it's been months. And new stop signs have been put up. There's no traffic bar. People either don't stop at all or they stop in the middle of the intersection. It's just crazy. So we really need some help from whoever was supposed to put the stripes down to come back and mark the streets.
Yes, ma'am. We'll get BDOT to provide an update to the council today.
Good.
Well, they'll provide me an update so I can share it with y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo, thank you, Mayor, for this robust report, and thanks to my colleagues for supporting initiatives on reducing gun violence. But I just want to highlight, something that the mayor said and talk about a situation that was literally up the street from my house. And I'm not telling anybody to dig in trash, but I do keep some gloves, disposable gloves in my car. And so I saw, a dump site up the street from my house, and I was able to get somebody's information out and pass it off to the administration. So I've been very aggressive doing that. And so just like the mayor said, if they bold enough to drive it from Center Point or wherever, then we're gonna be bold enough to take actions that we need to take, because it doesn't make sense for these communities to look the way that they're looking, because people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And another thing that I want to highlight, Mayor, is how do we stop people from parking on sidewalks? That is a major problem, like seriously. People just post it up on sidewalks, on the grass, just all over the place.
Let us know the addresses, we'll tag them. That's
Thank
easy.
you.
Just get us the addresses.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Counselor Smithman?
Thank you, Mr. President. I know at one point, we all talked about putting cameras up for illegal
Oh,
dumping.
that's the other part. So the camera, there's been some cameras put up, but we haven't had success in catching people
Okay,
with the camera use. Make sure Alice Williams provides me an update today where we're on camera so I can share it with you. But again, PEP identifying those who are not using permits, cameras, closing of streets, and Don't Be a Dummy campaign, empowering people to catch people. Those are all the ways
okay.
we're attempting to address this issue.
I'm gonna be honest, that's a little discouraging, because unless you get their tag number, or you see them, or you get them on camera, you can't really take them to court.
Correct.
So I'm hoping, and I do have faith that your strategies will help. But that was the hardest thing about telling people and accepting that myself is, if you don't see the person, you can't turn them in. And you are right, people shouldn't approach them. Because I've said this before, my dad and I saw somebody illegal dumping and somebody threw glass at our car. Because we told them like, hey, you're not supposed to be dumping.
No engagement.
So we tell people that.
But it works. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is when we were promoting the campaign, we did have people
I remember.
respond, and we gave them the process of take this to the magistrate office.
Yeah.
People's use their Ring cameras. So we're not asking people to do any vigilante stuff. We want people to do what they do all the time. They somehow catch, with the use of their phone, they catch everything else.
Yeah.
So catch this too and send it to us.
Have we thought about with that and recycling, et cetera, not commercials, but maybe commercials to get people who aren't on social media, the algorithm for Facebook and Instagram, if you don't catch it, you're not going to see stuff that we post. Have we thought about that? Just a quick 30-second educational.
On the recycling piece, absolutely.
Okay.
There haven't been any talks about ads as it relates to illegal dumping or Don't Be a Dummy campaign, but I like the idea.
I'm just trying to think about ways to catch people, like older people who watch TV, other people like Hulu when you get the commercials. So.
Absolutely.
And then the second thing, I know there's supposed to be a lot of rain today, Wednesday and Thursday. I just have requests if you could just remind people about flooding awareness, not to drive through the deep waters, how to report if they see flooding or a stormwater drainage, and to give us some information too for people as well.
Absolutely. I think today would probably be, I'll talk to Rick Journey, but if we need to use Everbridge, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we got the team downstairs monitoring how many inches we're expecting. And
Okay.
that lets us prepare for what type of communication need to be
Correct.
deployed as it relates to particularly certain sides of towns and certain streets we know are prone to flooding.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do we ever recoup any money, or is there a process that is being looked at when we're talking about, this kind of piggybacks off Ms. Abbott's statement, we're talking about street resurfacing. You see that lines were painted down on a freshly resurfaced street, and then within a couple weeks, they are, black paint is put over them, and then there's a different set of lines put down. There's several streets in Birmingham, some in my district where this is happening. Do we recoup any money from that? Or is that us? I mean, because the bid package looked like that it's the contractor that's actually doing that. So,
Let me not make an answer up.
okay.
I'm going to make sure all 9 of you all get it. But I think these are 2 important points you're bringing up that BDOT can give you way more detail than I can and give you honest answers.
Okay, because I'm still.
When's the next Transportation Committee meeting?
It'll be in 2 weeks, so.
At a minimum, I think the two questions should be answered in detail at that committee. But anything I can get before then in detail, I'll make sure it's emailed to you all in real time. So if I get it today, I'll send it today. But if you want Mr. Fowler and his team to come before you, where this is a part of the conversation about striping, post-paving, and give a full A through Z of the process and what's happening, challenges, et cetera, more than willing to do that as well.
Yeah, and particularly as it pertains to rugby, because I'm still getting an overwhelming amount of frustration from residents in Eastlake about, or really anyone that drives rugby, about rugby, because the striping was halfway done, there's still cones out, it's been a month, months and months, and it's driving me nuts.
Yes, sir.
And so, a lot of the frustration, I think, in some neighborhoods are on, a street-specific issue kind of thing.
Rugby is definitely one of those.
Yeah. The other thing I would ask for an update from the administration on is the business license process. I know that there's been a lot of I'm getting a lot of calls from folks frustrated about how the online stuff has been taken away, and then there's not a clear method from contacting tax and licensing, and people reaching out to me on what they do to file their business license taxes, and I just would like an update on, is something broken? Are we going to try to fix it? Why did these people have to come down to City Hall now?
Well, let's Cedric.
Okay.
So we do have obviously a new process because we moved away from the previous vendor that we had, but Attorney Yolanda Lawson has streamlined that, and we'll make sure you get that update, Council. The update of the new process so that you can also share it. They've been doing global notifications as well, but obviously making sure that we can tap every space that we can so citizens can know the portal, but we'll make sure you have it too. We'll do that follow-up for you.
So there is a portal that can be utilized?
Yes, there's a new process that we have once we moved away from the old vendor, yes.
Because as of 2 weeks ago, tax and licensing said it had to be snail mailed in.
We'll provide that follow-up.
Okay.
All right. Counselor Smithman, go ahead.
No, JT can go, he's been
All right.
holding up his.
Thank you. I did have, one request as well. Wanted to get an update from Capital Projects. I think there was supposed to be a meeting with the Pine Nose Vista residents as well as Penfield Park residents about the stormwater project that's supposed to go forth. I think there was some, redesigning of that project that needed to take place, and so residents have asked about, a follow-up meeting to see where we are on that project.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor Smith.
Yes, I wanted to just publicly talk about an issue with businesses, and formerly being Empire Avenue. I was informed that there are quite a few business owners that paid for their, taxes or whatever through Avenue for the last half of the year. And then when they came to get, I can give you the email. They had the receipts, and when they came to get their new business license, they were told that they couldn't get it because they had paid through Avenue. And asking a business owner to repay for something they already paid for is really honestly unfair. That's a nice way to say it, very unfair. And so I don't know what happened with the communication, but I just want to make sure that we reach out to business owners. I know a couple of counselors have talked about educational awareness, but I don't want us to lose out on revenue and people move out of the city because of that issue.
I'll sort of pile on to that. So I had at least one business reach out to me and say that they got a letter from Avenue saying they needed to renew their business license, but it was from the city of Jackson, Alabama. But the business is in the city of Birmingham, so I told them to reach out to to Jackson, Alabama. But in any case, Avenue obviously is having some problems.
So, Counselor, two things on that. One, we've been made aware of a few of those instances, and we're looking to do the recoup from Avenue for those businesses that still gave to them. There's a pretty thorough process that we're walking down with them on that. I'll let the mayor follow up with you all on that one. But if you find instances like that, please share those businesses with us so that we can follow up with them. But they won't be made to double their efforts. Again, they'll be made whole if it was paid, because it shouldn't have been collected in that form, but we'll provide follow-up. And again, we'll have Attorney Lawson speak to. There's a litany of things that have kind of transpired during this transition, but every instance that you find out about, please make us aware.
Yeah, I think the point I want to drive is the majority of people renewing their license has been smooth. But when you transition to a new process, it's not perfect. I'm glad to see small business owners reaching out to council people. But in real time, please let us know so we can tell finance in real time so we can solve it and or at least have awareness so it doesn't happen to somebody else in real time. Text, call, email me.
Okay, yeah, I just found out like less than a week ago. But I am glad that she and others were telling me that was going on though.
Councilor Williams?
I'll talk to you.
Councilor Clark?
So I was just wondering if there's some bottom line we can just say in this forum so that any business owners listening could know, like, if you get communication from Avenue, ignore that and contact the finance department of the city?
That's very straightforward, yes.
Okay.
All right, so, but Attorney Lawson is also gonna come in to make sure that the businesses know, in addition to that, please utilize this process. But your point is very salient, absolutely that. The communication should be 100% with the city of Birmingham at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Chief, our agreement with Avenue was terminated in September, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
All right, council, without objection, we'll suspend the rules for presentations. Councilor Woods?
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe PO has a video ready to roll. If they'll go ahead and play that, and then we'll invite Mr. Joyner.
Hey, everybody, Councilor Clinton Wills here at Joyner Fire Sprinkler. We're about to sit down and talk to a living legend. Robert Joyner has built Joyner Fire Sprinkler over the last 30 years. They last year celebrated 30 years in business and impact. He's been involved in some of the biggest projects in and around the Birmingham area, and it's just made an incredible impact, literally changing lives from a workforce development point of view. One of the largest African-American contractors that I know making impact in the region. And so we're excited to sit down and talk to him, celebrate 30 years, and glean as much wisdom as we can. And so stay tuned. We're about to hop in and talk to Mr. Joyner.
Yes, sir.
I really never dreamed on where I would go. I just always just have done my best. Every day was a great day. I got up just looking ahead, good or bad, looking ahead. I never looked back. I never set a goal and said I'm gonna be what? My goal was to do my best. And that's what really have brought me to where I am today.
You got started in 1971. Let's talk about a little bit about what made you want to get in the industry. How did you get in the industry? Where did you start?
Well, I got started in Columbus, Mississippi. A company out of Birmingham was over there doing a mall. And I was hired temporarily for 2 weeks. And my dad always told me, and he encouraged me with a stick, to do your best. Don't matter what, don't worry about what somebody else is making. Do your best. And I always was taught, all you have is your name. And so I decided to step out of it. And I really didn't know what direction I was going or anything. And then a lot of the companies that had been doing work for found out that I was out of work. They started to call me and said, you want to come to work for us? Well, they said, well, why don't you just try it yourself? And when they started telling me that, I said, well, I'm being encouraged to do this, so go for it, and that's what I did. I went for it, and they've been supporting me as up to today. You got God ahead of you. You're doing your best. As my dad always said, somebody see you. Somebody see you. And that truly have been my journey. My character, how hard I work. All I have is my word. Whether I'm making money or losing money, I still got my word.
Man, that takes us full circle, because you talked about early on striking out. The reason you struck out on your own because your name was so important to you. You wanted to protect that and build that and control, what that became, and you ended with talking about just the importance and what having a good name has done for you. And so we're incredibly excited for the things that you've done here, the things that you've built, and really just being that model that folks can look at and say, he did it, I can do that too. And so
This right here is a Stone Building Company, which is owned by Justin and Brett Drummond. These are the projects that we have done with them, and they give that to me for our 30-year anniversary. They had put that package together for us, and part of their team, and they're another great company in the industry. And they supported us well.
I'm surprised that they didn't come up here with you. Y'all come on up. Come on up. Get your family and your team. He brought his family, got the team here. Let that Mississippi shine out for him too. But no, it's excited to be here, man. Opportunity to honor Mr. Joyner. Somebody I met a while back is, I think, really a tremendous example. Been a mentor to me, and it's just exciting to be able to celebrate him on this milestone. Like I said, they recently hit 30 years. He's been someone that has just focused on mastering his craft, and after a while he looked up and he was as good or better as anyone in the industry. And so I think that's just been key, man. There's a lot that can be pulled from his example. His story of really discipline and dedication has shown how he, through his business, has really changed lives and created jobs and changed the trajectory of a lot of people in our community. And so I think that's just extremely impactful. And I think he achieved his #1 goal. He got his daughter, Amelia, to come back and join the family business. And so I know that was important to him. So, Andrew, Amelia. That's okay. That's my second goal. But yeah, we want to invite him just to share a few words quickly, and the mic is yours.
I would like to say thanks to Councilman Woods that really have worked diligently with this corporation. I would like to say to the mayor and the council, thank you for this opportunity for a little kid out of Mississippi, out of the cotton field, to have this opportunity to stand before the council in this great city of Birmingham. And I would like to say the opportunity that the city has given us is a division of the city, which is BCIA. So a project was going on in the city that I actually wasn't supposed to bid. You had to be in business 3 years in order to quote it. Well, that division went to the contractor and asked to give me an opportunity to quote it. And with that opportunity, history speaks for itself. And again, I want to thank you for the council, the mayor, all the opportunity that y'all had. And I want to say thank you to my team, my pastor, and everybody that supports Joyner Fire Sprinkler in the good Lord. Thank everybody.
Pro Tem Alexander.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Councilor Woods, for giving us this opportunity to honor Mr. Joyner. I'm just so thankful to him. He not only is he great in the business world, but he's also a great neighbor for those of us who live in District 7. So we appreciate you. He calls me y'all, and he'll tell me about an issue, and I'm like, yes, we're gonna get on it. And often when I first talked with Mr. Joyner, I never knew about your business and your history. To me, you were just a concerned citizen. And then when I realized most of the buildings that I walked in, that was your work up there. So I'm very appreciative of you. And again, thank you so much for your dedication and your service to our community. And what a fitting way to honor you during this Black History Month. I just think you are a fine example of entrepreneurship. And I love when you said you went into this business because your name meant so much to you. And if we all thought that way, I think we'd be better people. So thank you. Thank you.
Again, thank you all. Oh, I'm sorry.
I too want to join in on the congratulations. We've been acquainted for quite some time, and so thanks Clinton and the representative of District 7 for saluting this gentleman and his company. I had the challenge of managing supplier diversity for Regions Bank, and one of the things I thought to do was to interview some of the leaders in the construction trades who were Black, because our Black spend was the lowest of all the ethnic groups. And I interviewed Mr. Joyner, and one thing he didn't tell you is the secret sauce is barbecue sauce. If you go to his office, and Clinton knows this, there's a big barbecue rig out there. And so barbecue builds relationships. It helps you. You know, a lot of times people use you because they have a minority supplier quota to meet. And so that's your opportunity to show them what you can do, but you want them to choose you when they don't have a minority quota to meet. And so the relationship building is very key. And I think he's built a lot of relationships with that barbecue pit. And I know he has, because I've gone to an open house there. And then having a lot of the construction companies on your board of your company, having them represented in the governance. So he is one of the stellar Black business leaders in the construction trades in Birmingham. And I'm glad that we have an opportunity to honor you, and that I got to learn something, that helped me do what I was trying to do, at a point in my career, from hearing your story and learning more about the way you have built your company. So hats off to you, congratulations. And I know, Kim, I see you over there in the cut. I know for a fact that he credits BCIA with a lot of his success, and that he has been just, a supporter, a huge supporter through the years, and an advocate for BCIA. So I didn't want that to go unnoticed. So anyway, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And again, thank all of you.
Awesome.
All right, my colleague from District 3 would get me if I did not take care of the resolution here, so I'll go ahead and do that quickly. Whereas the Council of the City of Birmingham is rightfully proud to celebrate Joyner Fire Sprinkler Company, an establishment that rose from humble beginnings to become the powerhouse business it is today. And whereas Mr. Robert E. Joyner's journey began in 1971, when he became the first employee hired by Birmingham's Jim Crumpton Sprinkler Company. Over the course of 16 years, he would learn the nuances of the industry, including the value of effective management and reputation. The only thing you have is your name and reputation, his mentor told him. It is a sentiment that stuck with Mr. Joyner and inspires him today. Whereas, armed with nothing but a single employee, a single company vehicle, and a single-minded mission to supply high-quality fire protection services, Mr. Joyner founded Joyner Fire Sprinkler Company in 1994. Since that time, the company has grown exponentially, employing a loyal vanguard of 45 dedicated professionals and a squadron of 26 vehicles, all with the purpose of serving diverse clientele in both public and private spheres. Their work involves installing fire sprinklers at high-profile locations such as hospitals, malls, and U.S. government facilities, including Fort Knox, Fort Campbell, and Fort Bragg. Locally, the company has installed sprinklers at Grandview Hospital, Regents Park, and the Birmingham Shuttlesworth Airport, and more. Mr. Joyner became sole proprietor of Joyner Fire Sprinkler Company in 2004, making prudent investments to encourage the company's growth and durability. His careful financial planning kept the company afloat during the devastating economic crisis of 2008, allowing it to cover crucial expenses such as salaries and health insurance. Thanks to his cautious approach to resource management, Joyner Fire Sprinkler Company flourished even in the most trying circumstances. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Council of the City of Birmingham, with Mayor Randall L. Woodfin concurring, pauses in its deliberations to celebrate the meteoric rise of Joyner Fire Sprinkler Company. We congratulate and commend them for their unwavering dedication to protecting communities and facilities by offering dependable fire protection solutions. Their commitment to integrity, reliability, and excellence continues to propel them forward in their mission to serve both local and national clients who trust them to provide the highest caliber fire safety. Presented this day, the 11th day of February 2025, at the recommendation of Councilor Clinton Woods. All right, thank you. We got to show more love to our resolution preparers. So. Well, that was well done.
Move for
I
UC.
move the item.
Second.
Move the resolution.
Move the resolution.
Ms. Clerk, we have a motion.
All in
for you.
favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, I move it.
Move the resolution.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, the motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Been made aware that we have with us Ms. Yolanda Lawson, who's going to answer the question that we had about the Tax and License Division.
Yes, and before she does, I know there was also a pressing issue on the striping. These were the two most pressing issues you all brought up this morning, this and tax and licensing. As it relates to the striping issue, BDOT is very aware of this issue and is engaging, has throttled up their engagement with the contractors to hold the contractors accountable to make sure they do their part, posted paving as it relates to the striping. Not, and this is beyond Rugby, this is related to citywide. And then there's a backlog, I want to be very clear on that. And so pushing the contractor to actually hold their feet to the fire and catch up on what we're paying them for or what they've already been paid for.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I apologize. I was with a taxpayer, so I'm not sure what you want me to present or talk about.
I think you can just start overall with the transition away from Avenue to the new process, what's been communicated with business owners about how are they to engage the city of Birmingham as it relates to the renewing of their license. And then separate from that, anybody new who wants to start a business as well.
Yes, sir. Again, good morning, Yolanda Lawson, Tax and License Administration, as well as OCA. A lot of things have gone out to the taxpayers. Most of our communication has been via electronic mail. So we did send renewal notices by U.S. Postal Service as well as email. If a taxpayer is interested in renewing their license and it's a non-regulated license, they are able to renew online. If it's a regulated license, they can start the process online, but then they will be contacted by our offices to obtain additional information if they have not attached that to their renewal. But there is an option for them to provide that attachment. And a regulated license right now for us is perhaps an electrician license where they have to provide something from the electrician board to show that they have the current ability to provide electrical services, or a barber that has a current barbering license, or something in that form or fashion. It's an extensive list, so I don't want to exhaust that, but those are the forms of communication. HDL is currently up and running in full form. You're able to pay any and all taxes online with the HDL service. We have transitioned completely away from Avenue. currently Avenue should not, and as far as we've been able to confirm, they do not show the city of Birmingham as an option for you to pay or file taxes. Now, there are some taxpayers that have been able to go on and pay those licenses, but we're working through those issues with Avenue. I'm sorry, pay taxes. We're working through those issues with Avenue because what we're finding is some taxpayers are going on with the impression that they're paying City of Birmingham taxes, but they're actually filing with another municipality. So we're working with the taxpayers to try to rectify those situations. Avenue actually has been assisting us with trying to work through those, to clear those accounts up. So that's where we are currently with the taxes.
Councilor Abbott.
I'm so glad you're here. I had a taxpayer who told me that he tried to pay his taxes early and that the city doesn't allow people to pay their taxes early, which seemed crazy to me. If somebody wants to pay them in December instead of waiting until January, gosh, we should let them take their money as fast as we can get it. Is that accurate, that you can't pay your taxes and your license fee early?
Well, I want to clarify when you say taxes early. So what happens?
I think it was the license.
Okay,
I think
so
it was
our-
license renewal. I misspoke. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. So we have a system that is designed for a taxpayer to be able to renew their business license no earlier than 2 weeks before the year ends. So I want you to keep in mind that most of our business licenses are gross receipts based. And that means that if a taxpayer has not completed the month of December, then that means that they have not completed their gross receipts for the year. And so our gross receipts are based on an annual gross receipts for the prior year. So it would be kind of hard to determine unless the business has already ceased operations as of a certain point in December.
Okay.
But if it's a fixed rate, then we may be able to assist them in renewing early. But our system does not roll over for more than 2 weeks prior to the end of the year.
2 weeks prior. Okay. Well, I'll tell them that.
Yes,
See if it makes them happy, and if it doesn't make them happy, I'll give them your phone number.
Yes, ma'am, 205-254-2198.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, getting back to our presentations. This morning, we have with us from District 5, Mr. Darius Peace, who's going to tell us about the Magic City Expo that he's planning for August. You may know Mr. Peace from his business, Haya Beauty, that's located on First Avenue North downtown. Mr. Peace?
Cool beans. Thank you. Good morning. I am Darius Peace, and I'm formally here to invite Mayor Randall Woodfin, President Darrell O'Quinn of District 5, and the rest of the Birmingham City Council to join us in connecting the City of Birmingham citizens to the business community. Through the Magic City Black Expo. We started the Magic City Black Expo back in 2008. And my wife and I traveled all over the country selling our products at these expos. And whenever we would come back to Birmingham, there was no platform for us to do the same thing here. So we were like, you know what? Maybe we should start an expo. Maybe we should fill this need that we found here in Birmingham. So we filled that with the Magic City Black Expo, which is a platform for businesses to showcase and sell their products and services directly to the community at large. Just to give some background on the event, we've partnered with the Penny Foundation, so we know that there are power in numbers, and so we're really excited about this partnership, especially because our missions are aligned, and it allows us to really help fortify the business community and connect everybody with the community at large, helping to strategically position businesses with stronger marketing efforts in the community. we've got a lot of press when we did the Magic City Black Expo. We've been featured in Fast Company magazine. We've been featured on CNN with the event. We've been in Rolling Out magazine, 2-page spread in Black Enterprise magazine. So it's gotten a really good shine on Birmingham, Alabama. And I love that it was able to redirect the focus beyond civil rights and showcase that there is a thriving entrepreneur community here in the Magic City. And I think that it's the businesses that help ignite the magic in our city. So I love that. And we want to keep that momentum going. As a matter of fact, it was the momentum was so high that the buzz reached the White House, and we received what do you call it? A letter of recognition from the Obama administration. So that was really cool for us, and it just kind of helped to catapult our enthusiasm for keeping it going. Now, we started the Magic City Black Expo as a family. My wife, Megan Peace, and I did that. And we put it on halt because we had 3 very small children at the time. We had a 3-year-old, 2-year-old, 1-year-old, and it was so hard to do it, so we put it on hold. Well, our children are definitely semi-self-sufficient now, and we have 5 children, and they are able to help with facilitating the operations of the Magic City Black Expo, like you, JT. And so
I got 4.
I know, right? And so, but it's one of the things that's happened since the pandemic. I've watched so many of my business colleagues in the city close their doors, and that's been devastating. I mean, very devastating. And I know one of the reasons that people have to close their doors is because they lack exposure. They lack that direct contact. And when the pandemic hit, you know, we were sheltered at home, and, you know, a lot of our operations became electronic, and so we became disconnected. So that's one of the reasons that's inspiring the relaunch of the Magic City Black Expo, well, formerly known as the Magic City Black Expo. When we were having the Magic City Black Expo, we were wondering, well, why isn't everybody coming to the Magic City Black Expo like they come to all the other shows in Birmingham? And I think that it wasn't clear that this is an event that is attracting everybody. So we are currently rebranding as the Magic City Expo, just to give every business in the city an opportunity to do what Mr. Joyner has done, which I'm congratulating him again. Of course, it takes money to fuel these type events, and so that's why I'm here today to ask y'all for some money to help fuel this. Now, in the past, we've had people and businesses, attendees from every district in the city. We've had businesses from every district in the city, and we've attracted people from all over the United States to be a part of the expo as vendors, as sponsors, as well as attendees. So it really does have a dynamic economic impact, bringing in tourism. It fills hotels. It was just a fantastic event throughout the day. By the time we reached our 4th year of the installment, we had over 8,000 people to come through the door, and that was at the East Exhibition Hall. So we're doing it again, kicking it back off. The date for the event is August 9th, 2025, from 10 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock p.m. And so what's going to happen at the event, and I'm just trying to make sure I don't go over my time, so it really is a jam-packed event, and it highlights AI. So one of the things that we want to do is help dispel a lot of the myths that people have about AI. We think, oh my gosh, AI is coming to take all of our jobs, or AI is coming to kill us, and that's not it. As long as we are learning from experts how we can best utilize AI to make our lives better, we can do that. And so that's one of the highlight initiatives that we have going on at the Magic City Expo. Environmental sustainability, making sure that we have experts that can enlighten the community on the importance of recycling, the importance of gardening, cleanup initiatives. My daughters were privileged to be able to work with Jones Valley Farms last summer, and that was really great. We did some tree planting this weekend with our neighborhood, so we're really actively doing that, but wanting to spread the word to every citizen in the city to know how we can all play a part in being more environmentally sustainable. Career development. There are a lot of people who I talk to who say, you know, I really would love a career change, but I don't necessarily want to go to a job fair because I don't want my job to know that I'm looking for another job. Well, we have job fairs built into this expo that give people the opportunity to communicate directly with people in workforce development and other opportunities that can move them forward in their careers. Of course, we've got real estate, talking about home ownership and ways that you can build wealth in that capacity, financial literacy, wealth building, higher education, and connecting people with the schools that can give them another catapult to other opportunities. There are people who don't know we have dynamic trade opportunities here in the state of Alabama, along with a lot of other college institutions, scholarships. I mean, there are people who will pay you to go to school as opposed to you focusing on paying them to be at their institutions. And then, of course, we have our Kid Zone, which is anchored by STEM, and that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, making sure that the children are enlightened in that regard so that exposure can help push them into being the future leaders of our great city. So I invite you to be a part of it with your money. You know, I know that everybody does have discretionary funds, and so I'd love for you to put in on the Magic City Expo. You'll notice that inside of the packet that I gave you, there is a sponsorship packet at the back proposing the different levels in which you can participate. And I'd love to be able to come back to a future meeting, maybe next meeting, to follow up regarding how we can move forward together in this initiative. Again, I really do appreciate the opportunity to share in the platform and let you know about this event, and I look forward to participating together.
Thank you. Council Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Peace, I just want to tell you congratulations on the work that you've already done. I know that this is not a small feat to move forward and complete something like this, and you've been doing it since, you and your wife have been doing it since 2008.
Yes.
Which is a huge, huge deal. I felt you when you said, you know, you had the 3 and the 2
Oh,
and the 1.
yeah, man.
And my hat's off to you, brother, for all the work that you're doing to add value to our city and bringing something that could really, you know, expose other people to the beautiful businesses and the assets that we have in our city. So I just want to say congratulations to you for what you've already done and what you'll continue to do.
I appreciate that.
As a Norwood resident.
Yes, I appreciate that. And so there are a few things that I do want to add. I talked about all of the other stuff, but it is a fun-filled event. So there will be entertainment. There will be food that draws people and showcases what makes the Magic City magical, what is signature and set apart about our city. And I want to help bring more people into the city moving into Birmingham. I've lived in Birmingham all of my adult life, and I've watched the city grow in ways that I didn't think that it would. And that's because of the city of Birmingham, the councilor, the mayoral administrations, and everybody. So thank you for that. And I look forward to working together.
Councilor Smitherman.
Thank you. Now, Peace, you know I had to say something.
Yes.
So I'm still natural, but when I used to wear my hair more natural, Peace was actually doing my hair. So Peace is literally Mr. Birmingham. Like, he is all for Birmingham. He is actually a big fan of you, Mayor Wolfen. He always talks so positive about you. But that's one thing about Peace. He always uplifts Black people and businesses. Like, when we'd be in the shop, people like, hey, do you know about this business? How can I help you? So I'm so excited to see you take your talents and just the passion that you have for the community and take that energy, you and Megan, and honing it in. You know I'm going to support you, and you know I'm so proud of you. I look forward to this. But one question, where's the location of the event?
So it's going to be at the South Exhibition Hall again. It's August 9th, 2025. So August 9th is Black Business Month, for those of you who don't know. And it's going to be from 10 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock p.m. So it's a long day, but that day goes by really fast. We're going to have dynamic speakers, a lot of entertainment, food trucks parked outside of the South Hall. Now, the world has changed significantly since we started doing this back in 2008. There was the level of social media impact that we're experiencing now. We did not have that. And we didn't have City Walk. So looking outside of the South Hall was very different. It was empty, but now you've got these beautiful trees and this beautiful walk. And people walking, so it's a really beautiful view, and I look forward to having the curtains pulled, the blinds up during that day, so we can see outside, and outside can see what's going on inside. But again, this type event takes a lot of money to produce, and so I'm asking everybody to produce, to contribute at the highest sponsor level that you can. That's it. I wanted to make sure that when I came here, I did not lose focus and forget to ask for the money.
Thanks.
But anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we'll be initiating that conversation in my office. So, councilors, if you guys are interested in joining in, we'll be glad to have you guys add on to that. So, also don't want to let this opportunity pass without recognizing you for your community engagement. I see you a lot in various community conversations. You volunteer around the city doing various projects. So thank you for your service to your community, not only for creating the expo and supporting our business community, but just for all the other things that you do for Birmingham. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I love Birmingham. I tell people that all the time. I like to let people know that what you thought about Birmingham, we do not all live in barns. We do not all wear overalls, and when we do, they're quite stylish. Yes, thank y'all so much. I look forward to coming to a future meeting to move forward with how we can work together with putting this expo and make it a continued success.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Councilor Alexander.
Yes, thank you very much. Council and Mayor Woodfin, we have today members of the Southwest Alliance Association, and they're going to bring us information about their annual Fantastic Voyage. This is an opportunity for students in our area to learn more about their history. We have a short video, and as they come forward, then I'll introduce them, but if PI will play that video, thank you.
Like coming to this place, the Red Tail, I learned a lot about the Red Tail, a lot more than I thought I knew. I had watched the movie about it, but it really didn't explain what like some of these posters and videos and pictures explain. And it's impressive. The information I learned today, it's impressive. Like,
what's important about this trip, what we want to put in the kids, mind and heart, is to know a little bit about their past. In order for them to value their future and to see what it took to get them to where they are, every year we want to teach them a different part of history that gave them the opportunity to live and have the things that they have today.
Fantastic Voyage influenced me on HBCUs because I didn't know a lot about HBCUs for especially after today, it's definitely going to be in my book to probably go to an HBCU just because it's their spirit and like the vibe, the energy that they bring is actually amazing.
Our children need to know that they were once kings and queens.
Yes.
That the engineering that black people had to do in order to survive during times of slavery. But they want you to forget that. But they need to know the positive things that their race has done.
We wanted to bring them out of their environments, expose them to different things they didn't know exist. And you can look at their faces and see the smiles, and you definitely tell they definitely appreciate us spending time with them today.
This is all about the kids. This is our 8th annual Fantastic Voyage through history. This year's voyage takes us to historic Tuskegee, Alabama. We're here today to learn about Tuskegee University, Everett, Washington, the legacy of Dr. George Washington Carver, and of course, we're here at the Red Tails Museum in Tuskegee. This has been a great experience. We have a great bunch of kids. We want you guys to know how important it is that we continue to do things like this because our children have to know their history.
It was motivational. I would tell my friends to come.
Thank you very much. As you can see, this voyage is so valuable to our students. So we have 3 of the members that orchestrate this for us every year. So Jude, if you'll introduce yourselves and tell us more about the voyage. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Jude Washington. I'm actually the founder of the Genesis Project and a member of the Southwest Alliance Association. This is Big Walt Wilson, the founder of the Southwest Alliance Association, and Mark Shaw, who is a very devoted member of the Southwest Alliance Association. And we all, though 2 different nonprofit organizations, we work together. We do everything together, as you know. I'm here to talk about the Fantastic Voyage, which is this is our 10th year doing this, where we take kids to historically black museums across the state of Alabama. We started out, our first trip was in Selma went to the Enslavement and Civil War Museum in Selma, which was an interactive museum, which taught the kids, not only talk to them about the rise from slavery, but how the slaves were treated when they came off the boat. They treated those kids just like that. From there, we took an oath of unity and walked across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And once across the bridge, we went over to the National Voters' Rights Museum over there. So we did that for a couple of years, and we started venturing out across the state to go to other museums and such. I think our second stop was going to be the Legacy Museum in Montgomery. We went there, went to the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and then to the Capitol to talk to the kids about the history of Montgomery, Alabama, how that led in the Civil Rights Movement. We also went to Elmore County, to the Black History Museum in Elmore County and the National Society Museum in Elmore County. I don't want to miss the third one we went to was the museum in Tuskegee. Now that was unique in the fact that we only went there to go to the museum to teach the kids about the red tails, but we took a tour of the university, and while we were there, they were having a graduation. And it was impromptu that the students who were graduating decided they felt they wanted to talk to our youth, which was really important to us. We didn't ask them. They just kind of gelled with them, and it kind of changed the minds of some of those kids. As you know, some of these kids are from the inner city, and they were talking like they're from inner city. When we got through with them, they were talking like James Earl Jones, you know. But it is important for us to get these youth out of their environment. You know, a child that never leaves their environment can never be mentally, culturally, and civically sound, you know, if you've never left where you are. We think it's important to get them out of that environment, to show them something other than what they know, and hopefully we can gain from that. Every year, those kids that went the year before sometimes come back. We've seen kids come from this small who are still coming back. My daughter, even my daughter is now a mentor. On the bus trip, on the way down, we mentor the youth. We bring people in. I hope some of you guys can come. We bring people in to mentor the youth on the way down there. We have karaoke on the bus. We have history questions. We go 1970s music, see if these kids can come in. And we give out very, very, very good prizes to these kids, some monetary prizes and some very good prizes to these youth, to give them some incentive to learn something about themselves. We have never really just asked for the help of the city council, and that's just of support. Sometimes we have a hard time getting kids, even though one time we did 300 kids, and never again. It's like herding cats, you know. It was a bunch of kids. We went to Montgomery, but we're asking for your help, not just for bringing the youth there, and also for you guys to participate. If you can even if you just come down to say bye to the kids, speak with them, you know, get your photo ops or whatever. But we really appreciate you guys having us here to hear about our program.
Hello.
Good morning.
I'm Walter Wilson. Y'all, this is something that's very important to us. Mark and I grew up together, one house from each other, along with Abdul, who couldn't be here. We grew up together in the Hillman community of Southwest Birmingham. As kids, this is what we were exposed to. And we try to honor the legacy of our parents and grandparents who instilled these things in us. We want to make sure that we continue to teach and motivate our children to understand how important their history is. The adversities that they had, their grandparents and great-grandparents had to overcome, and also the fighting spirit that they come from. No matter what's done in any executive office in this nation, we as a community have a moral obligation to teach our children who they are, where they come from, and we also have to teach them that they can never stop working to be the best that they can be. So, Councilor Alexander, let me publicly thank you for supporting this event every year that we've done it. Before you were councilor, you were supporting this event. You continue to support it. Mayor Woodfin, I gotta stop giving you public comments. People are gonna think I'm supporting you. But brother, I can't thank you enough. You and your team have never said no to us when it came to those kids. And we try to create initiatives and programs that we can put their minds on positive things instead of what they face out there in the streets every day, man. Thank you so much for that. To your chief of staff, thank you as well. You've been the example that so many need to follow because y'all youth programs, I'm so jealous of them, man. We've got to get back to the old ways. So counselors, we ask for your support. We ask you to be involved. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a few people before we step away. The intention of doing this was to bring organizations and community together. So many of our Masonic brothers and sisters have always stepped in to try to fix sandwiches for the kids, to make sure that they motivated them, to encourage them. And I don't know, other than Jubilee, if you all have never walked across that Edmund Pettus Bridge, but boy, it sends chills through you. To understand that without the protection of the law, the courage of our people to try to fight for something as simple as voting rights, we try to make sure that our babies understand the sacrifice that was made to have the opportunity to vote and to make decisions on who your leaders are. So guys, we just do it. So we ask for your support. We ask you to come be involved. We're gonna have another fundraiser on the 16th of March. Hopewell Baptist Church will have our annual Southwest Barbecue Cook-Off. District Attorney Dana Carr, District Attorney Lenise Washington, husband Jude will be cooking again. And we're gonna crown the king of Southwest Birmingham. It's a delicious fundraiser. It's a way to get the community involved. I don't care who wins the cook-off. Did y'all see the look on Jude's face just then? He's trying to say our district attorney can't cook. And we have a lot of fun with it, but we invite you guys to come out, come join us, have a good time, and raise a few dollars to make sure that our babies get what they need from the community. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all so much. And give us the date again of this particular voyage.
It's May 3rd. Saturday, May 3rd, we meet at the Birmingham Police Department headquarters on First Avenue, 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, we leave at 8 o'clock, so get there early.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Going to move on from our presentations and go to our agenda items. Mr. Clerk, could we please read through the items on our consent agenda? Let me first read our statement on the conduct of business. All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. All items on the consent agenda will be announced by reading the item numbers only. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member or the mayor requests the item be removed from the consent agenda. Additionally, a citizen interested in addressing the council with respect to an item on the consent agenda designated for public hearing may request the item be removed from the consent agenda to hold the hearing on the item. Any items removed from the consent agenda will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. For remaining matters, all matters of permanent operation will be read and all public hearings will be announced. Now, Mr. Clerk, our consent agenda.
Our consent agenda starts on page 2 with items 2, 3, and 4. Page 3, we have items 5, 6, 7, and 8 on consent. Please note that on item number 8, page 6, we need to withdraw that parcel for further investigation. That's on page 6, item number 55. Withdraw that from item 8. Back up with the consent agenda on page 8 with item 9. Page 9, we have items 11 and 12 on consent. Page 10, we have items 13, 14, 15, and 16 on consent. Page 11, items 17, 18, and 19 are on consent. Page 12, items 20, 21, 22, and 23 are on consent. Page 13, items 24, 25, and 26 are on consent. Page 14, Items 27, 28, 29, and 30 are on consent. Page 15, items 32, 33, and 34 are on consent. Please withdraw item number 31. That's item 31. Please withdraw from the agenda. And we conclude the consent agenda with items 35, 36, 37, and 38, and we have one addendum item.
All right. Do any members of the council wish to add or remove an item from the consent agenda? Councilor Clark.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to add item number 39, the addendum item.
It's an item of permanent operation, so we'll have to read it.
Okay. It doesn't say.
Did we miss that? Is it? I don't see it listed as a permanent operation.
I believe it's marked.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. My error. Okay, so without objection, we'll add item 39 to the consent agenda. Any other items? Councilor Moore.
Yes, Mr. President, I would just like that item number 19 through 23 also be stated that it was recommended by the Community Development Committee.
It's items 19 on page 11 through 23 on page 12. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Items 2 through 8 are also public hearing items. Do any members of the public wish to remove any of those items from the consent agenda? Seeing none, we will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay.
Ready for the vote?
And we will take Clark. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right. Consent agenda is approved. Item 1, please.
Item one. Item one, a resolution relative to the application of AGJW LLC for Division 2 dance permit to be used at the G Spot, 3912 Richard Avenue Junior Boulevard North, Birmingham, Alabama 35234, and hearing of ownership parties. Motion on the item, please.
Second.
Item is before you.
All right. Councilor Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this time, I refer item number 1 back to Public Safety Committee for zoning, to review zoning.
All right. It's been,
I wanted to just ask the question or object to that.
well, we have a motion on the floor to refer to committee, so let's vote on it. Okay. Mr. Clark.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed? No.
All right, so item 1 will be referred to the Public Safety Committee. Next item, please.
Okay, 1 second. Who was absent? Ms. Clark was absent, all right. Okay, so we're going to, looks like item 10.
Yes.
Can you give me 1 second? It dropped off my screen, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second to type it. All right. Item 10. An ordinance authorizing the mayor upon receipt of payment in the amount of $11,773.08 to execute a quick claim deed to Christina Jacob for the sale of property legally described as lots 11 and 12, block 60, according to the map and survey of Birmingham. Inslee is recorded in map book 1, page 245, in the office of the judge of probate of Jefferson County, Alabama, and located at 2701 21st Street West, Birmingham, Alabama 35208, which was acquired by the city upon foreclosure of municipal improvement liens in accordance with section 3-14C of the General Code of the City of Birmingham. And this is an item of permanent operation. Need UC to pass it today.
Motion for unanimous consent.
Councilmember Abbott. Councilmember Clark. That's out. Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Smitherman. Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Woods. President Pro Tem Alexander. Council President O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right, motion on the item, please.
Second.
Item is before you.
All right, any discussion on this item? We're ready for the vote.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, item 10 is approved.
Clark is absent. All right,
All right, so that takes care of all of our agenda items. Time for new and old business. Counselor Moore.
Come back to me.
Okay, Counselor Abbott.
I'm slow, but I'm here. Okay, the Planning and Zoning Committee that was scheduled for tomorrow, February 12th at 3:30 p.m. here in the council chambers has been canceled due to the fact that our information is still not ready. The Southern Area Rezoning meeting has been rescheduled from Tuesday, February 11th to Monday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. It says here via WebEx, but I understand the meeting is at the Botanical Gardens, so we have to do some confirmation of that. Especially since the residents were told that they had to be present to vote. And how can you be present to vote if you're meeting via WebEx? So this has to be an error. Neighborhood Association meetings tonight, we have both East Avondale and Highland Park Neighborhood Associations. Highland Park meets at the Highland Golf Club and East Avondale meets via conference call. If you have any concerns or issues that you see while you're out walking, driving, or whatever in the city of Birmingham, call 311. You can also download my favorite, which is the My BHAM 311 app, so that you can attach your photos and write the description of the problem up the way you want it. And that is all for me, Mr. President. Oh, and that's not all. One other thing is that the Caldwell Park flooding meeting to discuss what's going on with that project is going to be February 27th at 2:30 p.m. And we're still working on the location, but it will either be Episcopal Place or the Virginia Sanford Theater. Now, that's all for me.
Council Williams.
Sorry to be out of turn and ask you a question about your announcements, but did you say that the Southern Framework meeting at Avondale was canceled tonight, or did I mishear you?
Yes, that's what they said. They couldn't meet.
It's been rescheduled to
March the 3rd, my husband's birthday, so I'll be able to remember. But I understand that it is at the Botanical Gardens, not via WebEx. And so this says WebEx, and I saw that come from Forest Park, I think. I don't know what that's.
Avondale, I thought. But also I thought it was tonight too, so.
Yeah, so it's just all messed up. It's
Okay.
pretty thoroughly messed up. But a little extra time shouldn't hurt anything when things are messed up.
Counselor Smithman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The South Titusville neighborhood will meet today at 5:30 p.m. at Holy Family. Arlington West End will also meet today at 6 p.m. at West End Library. And then the Titusville community will host its second annual Community Connection on Wednesday, February 12th at Titusville Library from 3 to 5. And then Valentine's Day is actually on the 13th. Actually made a post, a happy Valentine's Day to Councilors Tate, Alexander, Clark, and Abbott, and happy Valentine's Day for everyone else. Thank you.
Okay, Pro Tem Alexander.
Thank you very much, Counselor. These are announcements for District 7. Keeping in theme for Valentine's Day, the men of Powderly will host their 2025 Valentines for seniors. That'll be Friday from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Wiggins Park Recreation Center. They're encouraging everyone to dress in their holiday colors and attire. There will be food, fun, games, and a random, well, other things that we'll be doing there. So we're very excited and look forward to attending that event. I did just want to make note of, and I apologize that I didn't bring this up earlier, so hopefully there are still members of the community that are listening to our meeting today. We did have a series of train blockages in District 7 that were highly disruptive to travel. On Thursday, I was going out to an event and just ran into and realized that the train site there had been blocked. Thankfully, Dr. O'Quinn, Transportation Committee, he did contact Norfolk Southern, and what we have realized is that they were making repairs to most of the train tracks in our areas. That includes District 6 and 7. So if you encounter any of those, I was just a little upset that we didn't have prior notification. But Norfolk Southern said they did contact representatives, but the word didn't get quite out. It was very disruptive, continues to be. But we will put those blockages that are continue to be planned in the next few days. We'll get that information out to you so that you can begin to plan your detour and your routes versus just riding up on it and realizing that you've got to make that detour. The good news is most of that work that causes the disruption, it is complete within 48 to 72 hours after they take the tracks up. And on my way home last night, I realized one of my blockages was already clear. And so if you're exhibiting that, be mindful that you may encounter some delays. And again, we do have a list that we'll get that posted for you, and just trying to help minimize. Well, am I maximizing your expectations or minimizing them? Trying to just help you with the expectations there, because I know it can be very frustrating. But thank you, and those are my announcements. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Council Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development Tourism will meet on the 18th at 11:30 in these chambers. Please have your submissions to India Bailey by Thursday, the 13th. Roebuck Springs will be meeting this Thursday, February 13th at 7 p.m. at their normal meeting spot, New Beginning Church. And that is all I have. Thanks.
All right, Councilor Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sandusky neighborhood meeting will be tonight at 6 p.m. and they meet on conference call. You can dial in at 319-527-9642. North Pratt neighborhood meeting will be held tonight at 6 p.m. at the Pratt City Library located at 500 Dugan Avenue. Birmingham, Alabama, Oak Ridge neighborhood meeting will be held on Thursday, February the 13th at 4 p.m. and they meet on conference call at 952-206-4918. And the code is 223418. Hooper City Neighborhood Association will be on Thursday, February the 13th at 6 p.m. at the Hooper City Rec Center located at 3901 4th Street West. Public Safety meeting will be held today at 1 p.m. in the City Council Chambers. And if you have questions or concerns, you feel free to contact our office at 254-2302. And that completes my announcement, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Council Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few announcements. Kilo Springs Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6 p.m. at Smith Middle School. Kilo does a great job of engaging, so I want to invite all the neighbors to come out tonight at 6 and join in the conversation of the future of your neighborhood and what we do here in the city. I also want to congratulate the Huffman girls basketball team on a great season. They lost at Homewood in the playoffs Friday night, lost a tight game there, and so proud of them and all the hard work that they put in. I also want to congratulate the Huffman boys basketball team who defeated Minor High School and advanced in the playoffs, so they'll be at Jacksonville for the Sweet 16 coming up next Monday, and so excited for them. They are actually ranked number 1 in the state in 6A, but their rankings go out the window in the playoffs, and you got to survive and advance, and so hopefully they can get it done and get back here to Birmingham. I also want to congratulate athletic director and basketball coach Steve Ward. He was named a finalist for the AABC 6A Coach of the Year, and so we're excited that he made it to the top 4 on that, and hopefully he can bring home some more hardware. So I do not know what AABC stands for, so but we want the trophy. We want the trophy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Council Woods. Councilor Clark.
Thank you. In District 8, we've got a neighborhood meeting tonight. Bellevue Heights will meet today at 6:30 p.m. at Brown Elementary School. Join the Ballard House Project for Sankofa, Gathering Family and Community History on Sunday, February 16th from 3 to 5 p.m. This community conversation will tackle how we can better preserve our community and family histories. This event is free and open to the public. Also, the UAB Institute of Human Rights, in collaboration with the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, presents Social Justice Cafe, Forced Prison Labor and Convict Leasing. Join them for a virtual learning experience exploring the history of convict leasing and prison labor in Alabama and across the U.S. Dr. Victoria Westmont, Assistant Professor in the UAB Department of Anthropology, will lead the conversation and provide her expertise on the subject, along with Barry McNeely, BCRI's historical content expert, and Tyler Malugani, Education Coordinator at Sloss Furnace's Historic Landmark. This event takes place on Wednesday, February 19th from 4 to 5 p.m. You can go to www.bcri.org to register. Calling all K through 12 educators in Jefferson County and Birmingham City School Districts to check out this incredible professional development workshop at the Birmingham Museum of Art on February 19th from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's led by local artist Willie Williams, and this session will explore artistic connections between his work and John Roden's exhibition, Determined to Be, now on view at the BMA. Teachers will walk away with hands-on learning and lesson planning, scalable curriculum integration, networking, and collaboration opportunities, and exclusive teacher resources from the Birmingham Museum of Art. You can go to artsbma.org to register. And finally, Birmingham City Schools has been selected as one of only 8 school districts nationwide to host the prestigious peer-to-peer Jazz Informants Tour presented by the Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz. This special program, running February 24 through 28, 2025, will feature world-renowned jazz artist Don Braden, who's a saxophonist, and Lisa Henry, who's a vocalist, alongside 6 of the country's most talented high school jazz musicians. Each school visit will include an assembly program featuring a musical performance for all students, followed by workshops for each school's jazz band and choir, with the visiting student performers playing alongside and sharing ideas with their Alabama counterparts. So the public performance in Birmingham will be on Thursday, February 27th from 10:30 a.m. at A.H. Parker High School, which, by the way, is celebrating its 125th year. And the opening remarks, some of the opening remarks will be by special guest Carol Clark, Chair of the Arts and Culture Committee of the Birmingham City Council. Anyway, that concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott. You had, Councilor Moore, go ahead. Oh, Councilor Abbott, you had something to add?
I'm sorry, I thought, thank you. The Southern Area rezoning meeting is in the Ireland Room at the Botanical Gardens. There is WebEx, but you can't ask questions, make comments, or vote. So it's just for people to sit there and listen and find out what happens, March 3rd. So Ireland Room at the Botanical Gardens. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't have that right to start with.
Councilor Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. As it has already been stated, the Kelo Springs neighborhood will have their neighborhood association meeting tonight at 6 p.m. At Smith Middle School. Penfield Park will also have their neighborhood association meeting tonight at the Brownsville Heights Community Center at 6 p.m. North Eastlake will also have their neighborhood association meeting that will take place tonight at the Southern Museum of Flight at 6 p.m. We also have our Community Development Committee meeting that will take place next week on Tuesday, on the 18th at 2 p.m. in the council chambers. All submissions are due by Thursday, the 13th. Please send all submissions to d4info@birminghamal.gov. Mr. Willie Jenkins also wanted me to announce the passing of one of the men of praise, Mr. Ronald B. Lomax Sr. on February the 3rd, 2025. Viewing will be today, Tuesday, February 11th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Pools Funeral Chapel at 1501 7th Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama. Funeral service will be held on Wednesday, February 12th at the St. James Missionary Baptist Church in Eastlake, 7309 Oporto Ave, Birmingham, Alabama. Burial will be held at Elmwood Cemetery. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Lomax family. Wanted to also announce that there is space on the Stormwater Board of Appeals. The city is responsible for operating the MS4 in compliance with the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit issued by the Alabama Department of Environmental Management under the authority of state and federal clean water laws and regulations. In the adoption of the Stormwater Protection Ordinance, the council authorized a Stormwater Appeals Board as part of the enforcement process. The board provides a forum for a person notified of a stormwater violation to appeal a notice of violation. And so this board is a 5-member board. The qualifications are each member shall be a resident of the city of Birmingham who has been recognized or who has recognized interest in the stormwater management. One board member must be an environmental engineer or scientist. One board member must be an environmentalist or conservationist. One board member must be a neighborhood or community leader. One board member must be a retired utility or business worker. And finally, one board member must be an at-large citizen or resident of the city of Birmingham. There's absolutely no compensation, so thank you for your service. The meeting place is on the 3rd floor in City Hall. Meeting time takes place, meetings shall meet at least 6 times a year on a bi-monthly basis, and such special meetings as the chair may find necessary. Obviously, these positions are appointed by the city council, and the length of the term shall be no more than, initial term shall be 2 members shall be for 2 years, 3 members shall be for 3 years. Serve until there's a successor, or they will serve until a successor is appointed by council from a list of interested individuals. And so if you would like to apply for the Stormwater Appeals Board, please send your information to d4info@birminghamal.gov. The last thing that I'll say, Mr. Chief, this goes towards you. As a council, we are only as good as the information that we have. And so when we go into these different committees, when we're trying to consider, how we should, support different businesses or whether we should recommend things or not, we can only go off the information that we have been given. And if the due diligence has not been done on the part of, certain departments to give us information in a timely fashion, we inadvertently hold up businesses from being able to move forward. And so I would just ask that, there be some streamlining of processes that are in place to ensure that when different things come before us in our committees, that we can actively have the right information so that we can move things along and not delay people in their pursuit of doing business in and with the city. Thank you.
All right. Pro Tem Alexander had a question.
Thank you. I do have a question regarding the board appointment. Is one position or how many positions are open?
So there are currently 5 positions that are open. Each position that was previously held, their terms have all expired. And so, yeah, we have 5 open positions.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we got everybody else. All right, so for District 5, Want to first let you know that Congresswoman Sewell is convening a emergency telephone town hall tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is in relationship to all of the things that's going on in DC, which everyone in proximity to the city of Birmingham should be concerned about, especially as it relates to NIH funding. So constituents can register to participate on her website at sewell.house.gov/telephone. You can also dial in at 855-933-0831 at the time of the event. Again, the emergency telephone town hall with Congresswoman Sewell tonight at 6:30. Check out sewell.house.gov for more information. The annual March of Dimes auction will be held at the Boutwell Auditorium this Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, the Birmingham Park and Recreation Department is now hiring for summer lifeguards. Non-certified lifeguards will be able to certify if hired. If you're interested, please contact not the Congresswoman, Terry Sewell, at 205-254-2189 or 205-254-2391. The next Academy of Civic Engagement begins in March. The ACE is a 7-week program designed to give residents an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at how our city government operates. Apply at www.birminghamal.gov/ACE. The Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service is preparing for its upcoming Community Emergency Response Team class for the spring and is currently seeking volunteers. CERT training includes disaster preparedness, disaster fire suppression, basic disaster medical operations, and light search and rescue. You can register via email at pubed@birminghamal.gov or by calling 205-254-6560 or through the Birmingham Fire and Rescue Facebook page. BCRI, the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, will be hosting events throughout the month of February celebrating Black History Month, including their Community Wellness Day happening Saturday, February 22nd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., featuring the UAB Mobile Wellness Clinic and Mobile Market. Also, BCRI is currently accepting applications for the Legacy Youth Leadership Program for 9th through 12th graders. The application period closes Friday, February 14th. Please visit www.bcri.org for the application and listing of all events happening for Black History Month. Kingdom Builder Company will be hosting 100 Men Praying on Saturday, March 1st, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the Boutwell Auditorium located at 1930 Reverend Abraham Woods Jr. Boulevard. For additional information, please contact Tavares Cook at 205-922-9560 or 659-895-4558. And District 5 residents, please note that our annual District 5 planning meeting will be occurring Saturday, March 1st, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. at the Jones Valley Teaching Farm. We invite District 5 residents to join us. Please contact my office at 205-254-2679 to RSVP. Smithfield Neighborhood Association meets on Thursday at 6 p.m. at Smithfield Court Community Center, And finally, the Transportation Infrastructure Committee meeting will take place Monday, February 25th at 2 p.m. in the council chambers. Please contact Kimberly Phillips in my office if you need to submit agenda items. That concludes my announcements. So, do we have any public speakers this morning? No speakers. All right. Want to recognize our officers on duty, Officer Pinkert as always, and with this, we have with us this morning, Officer Knight. Thank you for being with us. And that concludes our business. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Good morning, Birmingham. We are here on 4th Avenue North at 2024 4th Avenue North, 4th Avenue parking deck. Very chilly morning, and but it's also warm in our hearts because we have a new business on 4th Avenue North, Yo Mamas, to their new and improved location.
This is literally sweat, blood, and tears, even between me and her. You know what I'm saying? Because the one thing is, it's hard working with someone that can actually, you know, that is your mother, that's been giving you direction, and then for her to have to take direction from me is a blessing, for it to all turn back around. I'm gonna go cry. No, I mean, like, this is beautiful. Yeah. To like go from where we came from to this, it's freaking beautiful. And I thank everybody for coming out and supporting us when we didn't even know we had the support that we did.
We have boneless tenders and we don't want boneless chicken.
They've got a lot more square footage, a lot more capacity to handle customers. Their kitchen is huge. They also have some extra space for like a private meeting or party. So just a big upgrade for this location, and really a realization of a dream for this location. This parking deck was constructed in the late 90s, I believe, and this space was actually built to accommodate a business. But for the past couple of decades, it has sat vacant. But we've had some changeover in the Birmingham Parking Authority leadership, and they helped make this happen. So thank you to BPA for being a good partner to the city and promoting our economic development, being a good partner to local businesses. And Yo Mamas is certainly one of the celebrities in town. You know, these ladies treat everybody like their children. They feed us good and make us feel good with it. Great Southern cooking. So just so proud for them to be able to step up and come into this expanded location and start the next chapter of their success story.